So this video is going to be all about my experience in the home birth team, starting up 3rd year, and my first home birth. So 3rd year has started, my placement has been based in the home birth team. I've never experienced working in the home birth team before, so don't know what to expect. I didn't know if it's going to be home birth. As if they didn't know I'm recording a video. But yeah, so I didn't know if it's going to be home births or I'm going to be dealing with women who have had home births, or it's going to be antenatal appointments. So for my first shift, I didn't know what to expect. And a tip for you guys, if you're in the same position as me, like that, ask, send an email. I don't know what was wrong with me. I was just like, okay, I'll just go on the day and see what's going to happen. I did call the people I'm supposed to be working with, got no answer, but I could have asked my CPF. So if that's you, ask, send emails, all of that. But yeah, so anyway, I went into shift and it was antenatal. And the whole of 2nd year, I didn't work in community. And in 1st year, I worked in community at the beginning, and then I was on labour ward. Then I got pulled out of placement. So I was like, okay, I don't remember this stuff. But I was honest, and I told the midwife and everything, because I felt like when you're a 3rd year student, they expect so much from you. 3rd year, have you heard that term? 3rd year, you are the midwife. It's you are the midwife. So I was like, nah, let me be straight with them and tell them I haven't done this literally since 2019. It's now 2021. So yeah. Anyway, the appointment started and I got into the swing of it, conducting urinalysis, taking women's blood pressures manually, what else? Taking the woman's pulse, abdominal palpation, and listening into the fetal heart rate. And one thing my trusts do, they don't do the whole, so this plant keeps going in my hair. They don't do the whole measuring the superior fundal height. They do 36-week scans. And there's pros and cons to that, but I will talk about that in another video. Anyway, it's not about that. But anyway, so got into the swing of it, and by the time I got to the 2nd, 3rd appointment, I was remembering everything that was fine. But I did feel like I was just doing the practical stuff. So one thing I want to work on is taking the lead and speaking to the midwife about taking the lead on the appointments. Being on the computer or like leading the appointment, speaking with the women rather than just doing the practical stuff in the back, because I feel like everyone can do that. When you're on 1st year, I feel like you master it in 1st year, and that's why it didn't take me long to get back into the swing of it. But yeah, apart from that, with my other shifts with the home birth team, we're out doing visits. So we're visiting pregnant ladies, we're doing the abdominal palpation and everything in the woman's house as she lies on her sofa, or she's put a mat on the floor and lies on the floor. You see so many different women's houses. I had one woman, she had an extremely friendly dog, and if it was a cat, I would have been scared. But I'm not scared of dogs, but I'm just not used to dogs. This dog was jumping on me, like, yeah. But the midwife I was with loved dogs, so she loved it. But I was with an amazing, great team, and it had been a great start to my 3rd year. The visits were amazing. I was meeting women who wanted to free birth, women who didn't want the midwife to be in the room but in the kitchen and they just wanted to call the midwife if they needed the midwife. I was meeting women who were anxious about home birth but really wanted to try it. Different caliber of people. Been in some amazing, beautiful houses, and yeah, I just loved it. I really did love it. I really do enjoy visits. So yeah, that was going all well. But with the home birth team, my shifts were supposed to be 12.5 hours, but they weren't actually as long as that, which was actually good for me, because after suffering these 12.5 hour shifts, especially my 2nd year, I was doing so many night shifts. After suffering, I needed a break. But the thing is, I had to use wisdom and not take a huge break, because I've got my dissertation due soon. So after, good thing that I've got a library at the hospital. Most hospitals have a library, so if you don't know, you know now, find it, yeah. But there's a library at the hospital, so I would go to the library afterwards and do research for my disso and stuff like that. So yeah, yeah, so that went all well. And then I was working with a particular midwife who was on call for the day and night. I didn't really understand the concept of on call like that, to be honest. I really didn't get it. But we worked our shift, we finished early, maybe around 3 o'clock, and she was like to me, yeah, okay, so if there's anything in that, I'll call you. I've been called out twice this week already, so I don't think there'll be anything today. It's a bit rare, but I'll call you. And I was like, okay, cool. So I went to the library, I did my research, I'm doing my literature review for my disso, I'm working hard. I get home late, shower, eat, go to bed, went to bed at 10 o'clock. Midnight, my phone's ringing. My phone is ringing at midnight, and I think I just looked at my phone and I turned around. I saw 07 number, and then I was like, oh shoot, it's the midwife. I saw a text from her saying that she's trying to get through to me. So I called her back, she didn't answer. She called me back and she told me, yeah, there's a woman that's cracking on, and she'll send me the address and I should come down. So for me, I don't drive. I told my sister that it could possibly happen, and she was like, oh, okay, how are you gonna get there? I was like, oh, where's she taking me? She was like, take you and at whatever time of night. Are you crazy? So anyway, she heard me getting ready, and then she was like, wow, I really thought it was a joke, but kindly she booked me an Uber or a Bolt or something. With the petrol crisis, all of them kept cancelling, so it's taking me long. I was thinking I'm gonna miss this woman's birth. But anyway, I got there, and then there were 2 midwives there. So basically, when the woman is progressing, the midwife calls a second midwife. So it's not just one midwife there on her own, it's 2 midwives, which is nice to have that support. Home births are just amazing. Anyway, I got there, went upstairs, took off my shoes, introduced myself to the family, and from then on, it was all hands on, innit? Like, not all hands on like that. Obviously, we're leaving her to do her thing. It's a home birth. It's very natural, such a great atmosphere, but you still do need to listen to the fetal heart rate every 15 minutes. So that was what I was doing. It was dark. She had candles lit. She had a diffuser on. She had her music playing, some nice classical music. Like, it was such a nice atmosphere. I was saying that if I'm to have children, I'll definitely have a home birth. It was really such a nice atmosphere. I loved it. And obviously she loved it too. Again, and her and her partner at times, they're hugging and he's helping her kind of like helping her through the pain and everything. So it was really beautiful. So as it was dark, I was using a torch and a mirror just to look when she's contracting and stuff, to see if there's any progression. And you could see it. You could see the anal widening. I'm going to use the wrong terms here, it's been a while. But yeah, you could see the opening of the vulva. You could see that progress was being made. And then, you know, when it gets to that time, they start making different noises, so you knew baby was coming. But yeah, so time went on, and around just after 2 o'clock, she birthed her beautiful baby boy. And I did apply warm compress to help her to kind of you know, to protect her perineum. I applied warm compress with her permission. I was listening to the fetal heart rate every 5 minutes, and yeah, we saw the head come in and baby came, and it was so beautiful. Passed the baby straight to mum, and she wanted to do a physiological 3rd stage, and that's wait herself for the placenta to come out. So that was so beautiful. Yeah, so it was getting up to an hour now. We asked her, did she need to go to the toilet? When was the last time she went to the toilet and everything? So she went to the toilet, and nothing really came. But as time was going, she was like, you've got 1 hour for the physiological stage anyway. But she agreed to do an active 3rd stage because the placenta was taking a while and she was feeling uncomfortable. So I clamped and cut the cord, gave her symptometrin, as she had no blood pressure problems. The symptometrin was fine for the active 3rd stage, and yeah, placenta was still taking a while, but eventually the placenta came, caught in a bowl, checked it. Beautiful, lovely placenta. I thought there was a bit of calcification, but I think as a student sometimes you're proper looking out for things, and the midwife was like, no, it's fine. But so yeah, lovely, beautiful placenta. Supported her breastfeeding and doing skin to skin with baby, and then we started documenting while leaving her and her husband and baby to have quality time together, which was beautiful. I used that documenting time to also write in my pad because that's important. I needed to write in my pad too. And yeah, the rest is history. After an hour or so. We done baby checks and baby was good and healthy and beautiful. Our guys were 9, 10 and 10 anyway. We didn't have concerns when we done the head to toe check. We gave baby vitamin K with parents' permission, informed consent, and what else? Yeah, it was just a beautiful birth, beautiful atmosphere, and I really enjoyed it. So yeah, and with the home birth team, the thing is you deliver your baby at home, and then you stay at home, of course, if everything's okay, and then the home birth team come out to meet you and to see you on day 1 and day 5 and whatever other days are necessary. So it's like you've done it at home, you're comfortable at home, they're coming to meet you at home. It's so nice. So yeah. So there wasn't a huge mess at all. She had like a little mat, like not a little, a big mat on the floor, and she was on all fours at times and leaning onto the sofa. That was her position at most times, unless she felt uncomfortable and wanted to stand up as well. Yeah, there was barely any mess, and we also had Inco sheets on the floor. And I feel like people think, oh, home birth, and leave my house all messy and that. Oh no, but it wasn't. It was fine. Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Funny thing is, she had another child, and that child slept through the whole thing. I don't know how kids do it. Like my niece is like that too. She sleeps. Like if she's sleeping, you cannot wake her up. So yeah. But yeah, it was beautiful. It's literally been my favorite birth so far. Yeah, it was amazing. So we left at 5 a.m. and guess what? My phone was dead. I knew my phone was gonna die, but I should have asked. But I thought, oh, maybe it's a bit unprofessional for me to come and be charging my phone there. So I didn't ask. But my phone was dead. And the midwife was going back to the hospital, and I didn't know my way back home, and I couldn't book a cab or anything. So basically I know the route home from the hospital, so she took me to the hospital, and I went to my bus stop, and my bus was like in 15 minutes. So by the time my bus comes, it's about 5:30, and I'm tired, like deep in. So I went to placement, my shift, then I went to the library. Then I came home and I went to bed at 10. But I didn't even fall asleep straight at 10. I fell asleep a bit after 10. And then the midwife called me at 12. So I've had under 2 hours of sleep. I'm tired. So anyway, I'm on the bus and I'm just... If you don't get what I'm doing, I'm just trying to enact how I was dozing off. Yeah. So I was dozing. Maybe I should have just said it. But I was dozing off and trying to stay awake. And we were almost at my stop. My stop wasn't too far. Then we got to my stop, but it was at a traffic light. And I was just trying to stay awake. And before this, I had actually removed my fob watch, my pen, my notepad, my IDs, everything from my uniform, put it in my bag to make it easier for me when I get home. I'm like, oh, just gonna put myself in the wash, take a quick shower and go to bed and sleep. And just sleep. I'm tired. So, yeah, I thought I'd get home before 6 and have time, because the next day I was babysitting my nephew, so I thought I had time. Anyway, so yeah, basically I'm on the bus dozing off. We're almost at my stop. The traffic light's red, but I couldn't keep awake. And then I heard my stop. I know it said my stop. Let's say my stop is Thompson Avenue. And then I just woke up, and I was pressing the bell because the driver was about to drive off. And I apologized to him. I was like, sorry. And then it was fine. So I jumped off the bus, crossed the road to get my next bus. And I'm like, yes, almost home. And I was wearing my big black jacket, but I just felt a bit light. Felt very light. So I was like, hey, what? I touched my back. And my bag wasn't on my back. And I can laugh about this now. But what a joke. My bag wasn't on my back. And I was like, oh my days, what? I've left my bag on the bus. My bag has my pad in it, my books in it. Funny thing is, it wasn't even my bag. I was borrowing my sister's bag because my bag was broken. So I had my sister's bag. And then I even had my dad's watch in the bag because he let me use his watch because my fob watch was actually broken. And it was an expensive watch. I had the valuables in that bag. I had my IDs in the bag. So So as I started to deep all the things that were in the bag, and I was thinking, okay, my stuff is replaceable, but the stuff that's not mine, that's what I feel bad about. So I was thinking what to do. So I crossed the road, waited for the next bus, that's the same bus going in that direction, to see if I can go to the last stop and see if that driver's still there with my bag. So that bus was in 15 minutes. So I stood there for 15 minutes. I kept asking people who came to the bus stop, excuse me, do you have the time? Do you have the time? Because remember my friend said, so I kept getting the time, and then I asked someone if I can make a call with their phone, and she kindly let me. I called my dad, and I didn't let him know the situation. I was just like, okay, yeah, I'll be home by 8 o'clock, 8 a.m. He was like, okay, and that was it. He's probably thinking I'm at work. So yeah, the woman came with the bus. The bus driver came driving the bus, and then I got on it, and then I said to her, oh, like, I've lost my bag on the bus that was before you. Is there a way to contact them, or what do you recommend me to do? I'm just going to stay in the bus and see if I can catch up to that driver. So I was sitting on the bus to the next stop, and she was like, there's no way to there's no way to contact the drivers. It doesn't really work like that. And what I should have done was remained on the other side of the bus stop, because that bus actually comes back down that way. I said, what? I probably missed that bus by now, but she said that's what she recommends me to do. So I jumped off the bus, went across the road, and waited for the next bus to come. At this time I'm exhausted, because the next bus again was in how long? 15 minutes. So that next bus came, and it was a different driver, and I went on the bus and I looked where I was sitting, and my bag wasn't there, and I just couldn't even be bothered to ask him anything because I was tired. So I thought, okay, let me just wait for the next bus. If not, maybe I'll just give up. I'll just, when I get home, I'll order my dad a new watch and give my sister a new bag, then try and sort out getting myself a new pad at uni and stuff. That was what was going in my head. I was going to give up. I was like, Jesus, please, if you ever come through for me, please make a miracle today, please. I was praying, honestly. So yeah, what happened next? So the next bus came, and it was the same woman, and she was like, okay, come on, get on the bus, let me see what I can do. And I heard her talking to a walkie-talkie to the controller, and she was saying that, yeah, there's a black bag that's been left on a bus, has anyone found it? And then I heard the controller man say, we found the bag, we've located the bag. And in my head, I'm like, when Jesus say yes, nobody can say no. I was like, hey, wow, God. I don't know what I was meant to learn from this, but I appreciated this so much, thank God. At this point, I'm looking at the bus at the time, and it's 6:45, and I need to be home by 8. And this bus that I'm on is on its way to Kingston. So she was like, okay, tell the driver to leave the bus at the garage for me, and I'll come and collect it. And then she was like, yeah, he's just gonna leave it at the garage. So yeah, just stay in the bus till we get to the garage. And then I'm thinking, is the garage in Kingston? Like, where's his garage? But I kept quiet because I was like, she's helped me so much. I don't want to keep bombarding her and stuff. But eventually I was like, hi, so is the garage in Kingston? And she was like, no, don't worry, you don't have to go all the way to Kingston. It's in Merton. I said, oh, okay. I'm still looking at the time. To be honest, I didn't know what Merton was. Didn't know where Merton is. All I knew was I'm staying on the bus to get the bag. But anyway, we eventually get there, and it's like 7:10ish. So I've got 15 minutes to get home, because I've got my nephew at 8 o'clock. So I've got 15 minutes to get home. And she said, yeah, across the road, the next bus that comes down will have your bag. That next bus was in 1 minute. With the petrol crisis, the traffic was so long, and I waited 5 minutes and that bus never came. So I went into the garage, and I went to go and talk to the people at Lost Property, and they made a call, and they found out that the bag, the person on the call, I heard them, was on last week. It said, tell her to be at the bus stop at 7:59, and then she'll get the bag. And like, I was like, oh, okay. I can't do this because I need to go pick up my nephew. Is there anywhere I can come back? What time do you guys close? And she said they close at 5, and what she'll do is she'll make sure the driver brings it on his lunch break, and I can come and get the bag before 5. And I was like, thank you, another destiny helper, we thank God. So I went home, had my nephew for the day. I was tired, man, I was tired that day. And yeah, anyway, in the afternoon we just made our way. I got my bag, nothing was missing. My dad's watch was in it, not a scratch on the bag, or my pad, my IDs, nothing. So God bless that first driver that helped me. and God bless the driver that brought my bag back, and God bless the people at Lost Property, and God bless everyone. God bless you. Yeah, I just thank God, man. And I was like, why did that happen? Is it for me to tell a story time? But I guess it's, what I learned from it is to stop rushing. I feel like with this course there's just so much going on, and then I've got my personal life and things and stuff, but even still I need to take time and not to rush so much, not to rush my way through life. Take time, because if I didn't rush, then I would have noticed that my bag was on the chair and taken my bag and not left on the bus. Anyway, thank you for tuning into this video. I've shared a testimony, I've shared details about my first home birth and working with the home birth team. If you have any questions, recommendations, anything, leave a comment below. And make sure you like the video. Bye.